After transforming into the legendary Super Saiyan, Vegeta finally defeats Frieza, losing Nappa in the process. Frieza was actually much stronger than anyone could have ever expected. Vegeta and Raditz heal up in some healing pods before blowing up the planet, erasing any evidence of their battle and destroying a lot of resources that the Frieza Empire had access to. They continue to travel around, eradicating all traces of Frieza's empire, eventually coming across King Cold, which Vegeta handles with ease since he's become the legendary Super Saiyan. Cleaning up the rest of the soldiers there, they leave, planning to return on Earth, not knowing someone has been keeping tabs on them ever since they started their journey to cleanse the universe of Frieza's army. Back on Earth, we see Goku and Yamcha sparring, with Goku actually winning this time, getting the better of Yamcha here. That's when Piccolo notices that there's a strange energy in the air, even noticing that the grass nearby has started to die slowly. Kami then teleports in, telling Goku, Yamcha, and Piccolo that there seems to be a strange entity absorbing all the life force from the planet at an alarming rate. Pretty soon, the planet will become a barren wasteland, devoid of all life, with plants and animals alike dying out slowly. Concerned, I ask Kami if he knows how to stop it. He then says he has no idea, but destroying the entity could possibly stop the effects, and with the help of the Dragon Balls, they could completely reverse everything that's happened so far. The three then fly off in the direction of the strange energy, eventually seeing a huge tree come into view. Shocked at how huge it is, the three prepare to destroy it with a combined blast, charging up and releasing a massive wave of energy. But right as it's about to make contact, it gets completely nullified. Confused as to why it didn't work, they see 5 people standing there, with a guy holding out his arm, having canceled the attack with a single hand. He then looks at the three and then says, "Now that wasn't very nice, now was it? You can't just go around destroying other people's things." Yamcha then notices this guy has a tail and he looks very similar to Kakarot. Just who is this guy? Turles then introduces himself to the trio before saying he knows exactly who Goku and Yamcha are. He's actually intrigued with how they unlock the ability to use the Ozaru without needing full moon. Piccolo asks him why he's here, with him saying he's here for 3 reasons. 1, he's come to harvest this planet's energy for the Tree of Might. 2, he wants to test the Saiyans that have the ability to use the power of the Ozaru at will. And 3, he wants to see the potential of the Hybrid Saiyans. That last one really pissed Goku and Yamcha off, since they'll never let this rando lay a finger on either one of their kids. They get ready to fight in a 5 vs 3, but that's when Krillin, Tien, and Chaozu show up, ready to back them up. Goku and Yamcha launch at Turles, and Piccolo, Chaozu, Tien, and Krillin launch at the other 4, engaging in a massive battle. That's when we cut back to Vegeta and Raditz, ready to head back to Earth. But at the last second, their spaceship is shot out of the air with a ki blast, crashing right into the ground. They fly out of the debris, ready to confront the bastard that destroyed the ship, but that's when they notice the person that did it looks just like Frieza. That's right, the person that is confronting the Saiyan duo is none other than Cooler. The two Saiyans are confused as they didn't know Frieza had any more family members that were alive. But Cooler says he couldn't care less about Frieza and Kiko dying, since he didn't like either one of them either. If anything, he should be thanking Vegeta, since he would have done it himself. Confused again, they then ask, why did he shoot their spaceship down? Cooler responds saying he has to get rid of them because they still pose a threat to him if he wants to rule over the universe, and he hates the Saiyans just as much as Frieza did. Vegeta then says he should have just let them fly away on their spaceship, since he is the legendary Super Saiyan, which doesn't surprise Cooler since he already saw him use the form against King Cold. Vegeta and Raditz then get ready to fight with Cooler's armor squad surrounding Raditz. Vegeta bursts into Super Saiyan and begins to dominate Cooler in his base form, with Raditz actually having a bit of a tough time with the 3 members of the squad, even with Akari, showing these guys aren't weak by any means. Quick note here, before we continue, these 2 fights are happening at the exact same time in the timeline. Vegeta and Raditz versus Cooler and his men, and the Z Fighters versus Turles and his men. I wanted these 2 fights to happen at the same time, since I love both of these characters a lot, and didn't know how to exactly fit both of them in the timelines with what's to come in the future. I've also never seen anybody do this in a What If. I personally think This makes this what if much more unique and kind of separates the two storylines between the Saiyans, allowing for much more creativity with the story. Now, back to the what if. Raditz is really struggling a lot here with these three. He's being overwhelmed by the sheer number of coordinated attacks. Even though Raditz is stronger than every one of them individually, he's not stronger than they are as a collective. It's kind of similar to how the three Saiyans fought against Final Form Frieza in the previous part. The battle heats up more, with Cooler finally able to break away from Vegeta before he transformed into his fifth form, completely shifting the tides of the battle. Blitzing Vegeta and punching him so hard he almost knocks him out of Super Saiyan before launching him away with the force of the initial punch. Raditz, seeing this, is terrified. Even Frieza couldn't do that with his full. Mid-thought, he gets hit in the back by a ki blast, jolting him back into the fight. Vegeta is constantly being overpowered by Cooler, launching attack after attack, forcing Vegeta to try to evade as many as possible, since he can't really continue eating him over and over again. He dodges an attack, then lands an attack, then gets hit by one, with this process repeating over and over again, with Cooler taking significantly less damage than Vegeta does. Vegeta's power is also slowly dropping too because of the stamina drain that Super Saiyan has, giving Cooler an even bigger advantage. We cut back to Raditz as he's being beaten by Salza. At this point, he's even dropped out of Yukari. Bloodied and beaten, the three begin to taunt him, saying he's a sorry excuse for a warrior, even picking him up by the back of the head, showing him how badly Vegeta is losing his fight against Cooler. This really reinforces how he's always been the weakest of the Saiyans. He's not even strong enough to beat minions. All these feelings of uselessness then turn into anger, bubbling up inside, as he finally then explodes, transforming into a Super Saiyan. We then flash back to Earth, with Goku and Yamcha charging at Turles, with him blocking both attacks with ease. They then launch a barrage of attacks, with them all being blocked with little to no effort, with Turles then countering with a knee to Goku's gut, knocking the wind out of him before he teleports in front of Yamcha, hitting him in the head with an elbow, stunning him. The two recover before powering up into Akari, as they just realize he's way stronger than they thought he was. They both then dash back at Turles at full speed, actually surprising him before landing some hits of their own. That's when Turles starts to unleash a bit more of his power, blocking and countering their attacks. They go back and forth for a bit before Turles starts to overpower them again. He starts beating on the two, landing attack after attack. He ends up knocking them down on the ground out of a cart. That's when Piccolo flies in Kaioken, landing a punch, sending him flying into the tree, bouncing him off of it. He then lands a few more attacks before hitting him with a huge blast. Piccolo and the humans have all finished up their fights with his grunts and are ready to back up Goku and Yamcha against Turles, with even Trunks and Gohan flying in to help. The smoke clears and Turles is actually decently damaged from that barrage of attacks from Piccolo, with him even saying he might even be stronger than Yamcha and Kakarot. Piccolo, Tien, and Krillin all burst into Kaioken before rushing at Turles, with Gohan and Trunks flying down to help their fathers up off the ground. They give Goku and Yamcha a senzu bean, restoring them back to full power, as they then thank the two. Before flying back up, they join the fight against Turles. With all the people here and them actually being decently strong, Turles is actually having a tough time here, and is even being overpowered a bit. Goku and Yamcha have both gotten a decent bit stronger after recovering with the senzu. They're actually pretty comparable to Piccolo with this maxed out Kaioken. Even the humans have started to break into a Kaioken times 15 in short bursts here. Turles, with his back against the wall in a literal sense, starts to laugh, confusing everyone. That's when he flies straight up to the top of the tree at top speed, with everyone chasing. But by the time they catch up, it's already too late. Turles has a fruit from the tree, as he then takes a huge bite out of it. Right at that moment, his power explodes, almost literally. The smoke dissipates, with him standing there with long black hair. With all the fruit he's eaten so far, and the challenge of all the people he's been fighting, this is the last fruit he needed to reach a new level of power. He then blitzes Tien and Krillin before launching a blast and erasing them on the spot. He then teleports in front of Piccolo, punching a hole straight through his chest, leaving him fatally wounded as he falls to the ground. Goku and Yamcha prepare to fight, but Turles is actually more interested in seeing what the two Hybrid Saiyans could do. So he creates a clone of himself he creates clones of himself to fight Goku and Yamcha while he goes and toys with the other two. Goku and Yamcha start to get pressured by the two clones, with him actually being beaten pretty quickly. Turles begins to toy with Gohan and Trunks. He's basically bullying them similarly to how Final Form Frieza was treating the Z Fighters in canon, with him just beating on them. Eventually, they get angry enough to where they unlock Akari for the first time, with them getting a massive rage boost, and being in a berserk-like state similar to how Yamcha was against Garlic Jr. This excites Turles, as this is the kind of power he's been waiting to see. They charge at Turles and actually do some decent damage to him, forcing him to use more of his power. They keep throwing attack after attack at Turles, managing to shatter pieces of his armor off. But of course, this power boost is short-lived, as they then drop in power quickly, eventually being knocked out of the form by Turles. Satisfied with their performance, he then shoots a blast at the two as they fall out of the air, vaporizing them, with Goku and Yamcha watching from the ground in horror. They lie there on the ground in shock after watching everyone, their friends and family, get killed right in front of them, with Turles saying the brats put up more of a fight than all of them, if he's being completely honest. He gave them a quick death as a sign of respect, as he then turns his attention to the two Saiyans lying on the ground. They slowly get up, full of rage. They both yell as they transform into the legendary Super Saiyan, with them glaring up at Turles. At the same time, Goku and Yamcha one-shot each of Turles' clones, with Raditz erasing all of Cooler's men in a single blast before he joins the fight against Cooler, knocking him off Vegeta. We then see Goku and Yamcha charge at Turles, and Vegeta and Raditz charge at Cooler. All four of the Super Saiyans are actually mirroring each other's attack in this sequence, with Vegeta and Yamcha launching the same attacks one-to-one, and Goku and Raditz doing the same. They completely overwhelm Cooler and Turles with their combos before they all charge up a blast, launching at each other. With the injuries they sustain, Goku, Yamcha, Raditz, and Vegeta start to lose ground and are actually on the back foot at the moment. That's when they start to feel each other's energy. They realize that all of them are fighting for their lives, putting everything into their blast. At that moment, it almost felt like their comrades were standing next to them, putting all their strength into the blast. Gohan, Trunks, Krillin, and Tien put their hands on Goku and Yamcha's backs, with Nappa doing the same for Raditz and Vegeta, finally giving them the strength to overpower them in the blast. The four Saiyans let out a roar in unison as they blast them off the planet into space. They all revert to their base form, falling onto the ground. We then cut to the blast flying in space as they end up landing on two different sides of the same planet, with both villains being badly damaged. We then see a familiar demon land on the planet, picking up Cooler and Turles, with an evil magician ready to make them his servants, with the intention of gathering energy to release Majin Buu. With that, we end this part off here, with Goku, Yamcha, and Raditz transforming into Super Saiyan before defeating Cooler and Turles, with the deaths of Krillin, Tien, Gohan, and Trunks in the process. What do you guys think of this part? What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Catch y'all next time. Peace.